Every night, the young man's nails grew like crazy. No matter how many times he cut them, they were back the next day. To keep anyone from noticing something was wrong, he ground the clippings into powder and tossed it into his shrimp pond. But the next day, every tiny shrimp in the pond had grown into a 5-pound monster. That was when he realized his nail powder could make shrimp grow. He didn't dare tell anyone. Instead, he secretly used the power every day and made 30 million in profit within a year. But his success angered the middleman, who slashed the price right before harvest, cutting it from 24 yen a pound to just 12. Mr. Zhao, aren't you basically forcing me to work for you from now on? Don't make it sound so ugly. You just came back to the village. You have no contacts and no sales channels. Once the shrimp are raised, someone still has to sell them. Stick with me, and at least you won't starve. You don't have to sign. But tomorrow, none of my trucks will show up. Your shrimp won't last long once they're out of the pond. When the temperature rises and the quality drops, no one will pay 12. They won't even pay 6. He was telling the truth. Live Shrimp can't afford delays. Every extra day means more risk. He knew I'd invested everything and thought I'd have no choice but to give in. But he forgot one thing. I spent 3 years working at a large-scale aquaculture farm out of town. I'd seen too many farmers get squeezed by middlemen, and I'd seen those who fought back lose access to shrimp fry and refrigerated shipping until their farms went under. So on my first day back, I told myself, I can start farming from scratch, but I can never let one person control all my sales. 2 weeks earlier, I had taken samples into the city for testing and met Wang, the purchasing manager at the biggest seafood market in town. He looked at the shrimp and the test results, then handed me his card on the spot. I didn't accept right away. I kept that card buried in the back of my drawer, printed 3 copies of the test report, and contacted Lin Refrigerated Transport. I paid a deposit and reserved a 4.2-meter refrigerated truck. Now that backup plan was finally coming in handy. Then I told Zhao Jinfu, I'll give you my answer before sunrise. I hung up, pulled out the card, and called Wang. The phone rang for a long time before he answered. Wang paused in surprise. Your deal with the local buyer fell apart, didn't it? They cut my price in half. Wang seemed to have expected it. He stayed quiet for a moment, then spoke slowly. Do you still have the test reports? Yes, I have the latest ones too. Bring the shipment tomorrow. I'll inspect it first. If the quality checks out, I'll see what I can do. That was all I needed. I immediately called the refrigerated truck driver and told him to be at the shed before sunrise. Then I hired 4 temporary workers from town. They cost more than the villagers, but they showed up on time and weren't afraid of Zhao Jinfu. That night, I was also afraid Wang might change his mind. But I knew one thing even more clearly. If I backed down that night, I'd never be able to stand up to them again. Before dawn the next morning, Zhao Jinfu sent his nephew around the village with a warning. Anyone who helps Lin Chenghai harvest his shrimp better think twice, and anyone who lets an outside truck into the village can forget about doing seafood business around here. The villagers who had promised to help called overnight and said something had come up. I didn't blame them. They were ordinary people with families to support. Just after dawn, a refrigerated truck with temporary plates rolled down the village road and stopped right in front of my shed. The crowd watching from a distance suddenly went silent. They never thought I'd really bring in an outside truck. The 4 workers arrived right on time too. The shrimp were pulled out, chilled in ice water, drained and graded by size. I watched every step. Zhao Jinfu's nephew showed up with several men and shouted sarcastically from the entrance. Lin Chenghai, if you move this truck today, you'll never get another shrimp fry anywhere around here. They're my shrimp. I'll sell them to whoever I want. My uncle knows people at the seafood market too. You think they'll buy just because you drive the shrimp over there? Everything here is being recorded. If you interfere with my loading, you'll be responsible for the consequences. His expression changed. He cursed a few times, but eventually walked away. By 10 that morning, the truck was fully loaded. The moment we got on the highway, Zhao Jinfu called again. This time his voice was much softer. 18 win a pound. Turn around now and I'll still take the whole load. Young man, don't burn every bridge. You still have to raise shrimp around here. Mr. Zhao, I'm not the one who burned the bridge. You're the one who destroyed the price. Don't push your luck. I know the people in charge at several seafood markets in the city. If you take those shrimp there today, I guarantee no one will buy them. When they rot in the truck, you'll finally learn your place. I hung up. The driver looked at me through the rearview mirror. Boss Lin, you're really not scared? Then why are you still going? I am, but I still have to go. Zhao Jinfu doesn't get to decide whether my shrimp are good or not just by running his mouth. At 1 in the afternoon, the refrigerated truck arrived at the seafood market. Wang came down to inspect the shipment, opened a box, checked several shrimp, and looked through the test reports. The shipment looks good, better than I expected. I had barely started to relax when the market supervisor rushed over and pulled Wang aside. They spoke quietly, but I didn't need to hear them to know Zhao Jinfu had already called. A few minutes later, Wang came back looking uneasy. Sorry man, someone just reported that your shrimp came from an unknown source. We're a licensed market, so we can't take that risk. Another farmer might have panicked, but I'd already expected Zhao Jinfu to pull something like this. I didn't beg or argue. I only asked one question. Is there an independent testing station in the market? Wang paused, then pointed toward the entrance. There's a rapid testing station right by the entrance. Then let's take a sample and test it right now. If there's a problem, the data will show it. If it passes, cook a few and taste them. Good quality can't fool your taste buds either. Wang stared at me for a few seconds. All right. For the next 20 minutes, I stood beside the testing station with sweat pouring from my palms. I wasn't afraid of the test. I was afraid that even if it passed, they still wouldn't dare buy. The results came back. Every indicator met the standard. Wang visibly relaxed after reading the report. Back in the purchasing office, he had several shrimp cooked on the spot. The aroma filled the room the moment they came out of the pot. Wang peeled one open. The meat was firm, springy, and naturally sweet, without any muddy taste. The supervisor had been frowning, but his expression changed the moment he tasted one. These shrimp really are good. Then I pulled out the second test report and my farming records from the past 3 months. I'm not some small farmer who threw together a last-minute shipment. Every batch can come with a test report, and every day of the farming process can be traced. If any batch fails your standards, you can reject it. I'll take the loss myself. Zhao Jinfu's shrimp had a quality problem just last month. We'll take this shipment. The purchase price is 26 yuan a pound, 2 yuan higher than what Zhao Jinfu offered earlier today. When the payment notification came through, I stared at my phone for a long time. Not because of the money, but because I knew that from that moment on, the rope Zhao Jinfu had wrapped around the local shrimp farmers' necks had finally started to snap. Click below to watch the full story.